What's up, traders? Matt from the Trade Brigade here doing a technical analysis on ticker symbol CARA for Cara Therapeutics. On the left-hand side, we are looking at the daily time frame, and on the right-hand side, the 30-minute intraday time frame. First thing we need to point out is that obviously a huge increase on volume in today's session. The other thing, of course, is that we were bullish into today, and we did get that healthy consolidation up towards the upper end of that large expansion of range, which we saw on last Friday. So to me, the chart does look good, and obviously there's an elephant in the room. If we just flip on the extended hours trading session, we will be opening on a pretty sizable gap into tomorrow's trading session. So for now, let's assume we are opening on a gap up. The open will be, let's for round numbers sake, say that we're opening somewhere around here, 1850, and we have a pre-market high of around 19, and that's going to give us a framework which we can use to navigate the open of tomorrow's session. So really focusing on the daily time frame now, zooming out, again, you can just see how sizable that gap up is. If we just, let's do something like this, and let's talk about a couple of the scenarios we can use. So we're going to look at either a gap and trap and or a gap and go. So in the gap and trap scenario, we're looking at an open here. If we fail to take out the overnight high around 19, so we never make it here or we turn around early, whatever, if we trade back down through the open, you're looking for a short position to start to trade into the gap underneath. Now the gap ultimately fills to today's high around 1462, but I would argue that because it's such a large gap, we are looking at the 50% mark of the gap as a critical area. So going like this from the high to the open, of course, we're looking at about 1650. Okay, so use that as a first target here if we get the gap and trap trading short back down through the open. And I will just remind you, if we go to the trade tab here, you can do it with shares. It's easy to borrow on Thinkorswim, and we do have good open interest and volume on the put side of the option chain. So that is a possibility. The next would, of course, be the gap and go. So in that case, we're looking at the next major upside area of resistance, and scrunching up the daily chart here, you can see there's not a whole lot of structure here from this massive gap down. So what are we going to do? Well, let's just use these areas as signposts, right? So for now, I'm just going to throw a couple levels on the chart, and then we'll talk about them as we start to talk about the gap and go scenario. So first one at 20, the whole dollar. Next one is going to be 22.54. Next one is going to be here at 23.85, and then we have the gap close at 25.39. Now, I'm not saying that all of those levels will be in play, but what I am saying, if we actually get the manual mode going here and scrunch this up, and we'll adjust a little bit so you can see a bit better. So if we open, again, remembering around 1850, you'll have to use some imagination here. If we open here and do this, consolidate in here, never violate that open, maybe we test 19 a number of times, and we break it, you're looking for 20 overhead, and at that area, you're going to start to question, okay, are we strong? Are we weak? Does it look like we could roll over here? Should I trim some of the position? Depending on how you answer those questions, you'll either hold a piece or get rid of the position until our next level, 22.54. You'll ask the same set of questions, so on and so forth. So you're using these as signposts. They're not, make or break targets. They're just areas of interest where I see there could be inflection points on this chart. So for me, those are the two frameworks I will be watching very closely here into tomorrow's open on Cara, the gap and go or the gap and trap. Hopefully this video was helpful and it gives you something to watch out for. If you enjoyed it or learned anything new, let me know down below in the comments section or by giving the video a thumbs up. Don't forget our main channel is linked in the description. And all of that being said, I wish you a green trading week.